Welcome back, mamas. Y'all, today we are going to talk about this mental load that we carry as moms and what to do about it. I would love to unpack this with you over the next couple of weeks because I gave you a challenge on Tuesday. I have created an accountability group around this, and I'm super excited to share it with you. So let's get to it. Do you wish you had control of your days, that you had a rhythm, but instead feel overwhelmed, scattered, and like there's never enough time? You're in the right place. I'm Danielle, a recovering workaholic, wife, and stay-at-home mom of 2 girls. I've learned how to reclaim my time and find purpose and freedom so I can be present with my kids and feel like myself again. Here, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. So if you're ready to trade the chaos for clarity, the guilt for grace, and the endless to-do list for aligned flow, grab the kiddos a snack and toss in that laundry because I know you're multitasking, and let's do this because your time, your purpose, and you matter. Okay, mamas. So on Tuesday, I gave you a challenge, and it was to think of one thing that you could accomplish this week that would make you feel lighter, that would make you feel like it would take pressure off of you, right? When I say make you feel lighter, I just mean it takes some pressure off of you. It's something that either has been around for a while, or as for me, it was something that was just recent. I had gotten a couple birthday presents that were taking up like literal counter space, floor space, and mental space in my head because I am in this period right now of trying to get my house in order. And these 2 things just added more clutter to my home because they didn't have a home in my house. Because this one thing, it's actually like an ice cream maker, and it like you can do soft serve. Like I love ice cream. Ice cream is literally like my vice. And I love soft serve ice cream. And you go around trying to find the best soft serve, and we had one and they closed it on us. And so we try to find one that's just as good. And we have yet to find one. And so my husband decided, you know what? I'm going to buy her a soft serve ice cream machine. So he did, but the box was in the middle of my living room floor, just staring at me. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with this? I don't know where I'm going to put it, the counter space. And I'm like, I'm getting my house in order. This is what I've been trying to do. And yet we keep getting more things. The other thing was this like Dutch oven that I had asked for, that I know my Dutch oven was like ready to go. Like the enamel is kind of peeling off or whatever. And so I asked for a new one. And so you think I could get rid of the old one, right? But this one is humongous. Like the one I asked for, I did not realize, like I thought I had researched, but this thing is 7.5 quarts. It is huge. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, where am I going to put that? And so for me, I knew that if I found a home for these 2 things, it would clear up a lot of space, not only in my house, but in my mind, right? Because when I see those things, what happens? I immediately start to like feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to get those put away. Where am I going to put those? I'm going to do that later. And you put things off and you're like, oh, that's going to create so much work for me, or whatever the case might be, right? We all have these things that we know we need to do or that we want to do, but we aren't taking the time to do them because either A, we feel like we're not sure how to deal with it, or B, like we might not think we have the time to do that right now, or C, it's just literally something that we are putting off because we know we're not going to enjoy doing the task. Right? And so we keep putting it off. But these things create this mental clutter. They create this mental load that we are then carrying. And I'm going to read a quote here by Lou Holtz. I actually shared this on Tuesday, so this might be the second time you're hearing it, but it says, "It's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry it." So it's not the things, right? Like it's not really those 2 things that are really breaking me down. Like I'm excited about the 2 things. I wanted the 2 things, but it's the way I was carrying it, right? I was looking at those 2 things as a burden. I was not dealing with it. I was putting it off, right? Like my birthday was just a couple weeks ago, but I still was not dealing with it because I have so much else going on that I'm like, I don't know. It wasn't on my to-do list. list. Like I hadn't written it down anywhere, that hadn't taken like a priority on my to-do list. But every time I saw those two things, I would feel this like pressure to put them away, or this, gosh, beating yourself up of why haven't I put those away? Why haven't I figured out a space for those to go, or whatever it is? And this is representative of a lot of things that we deal with as moms that may not make our actual to-do list, right? We may forget to put them on our to-do list. Like this week, I was going to actually talk about how we deal with this mental clutter, with this mental load that we carry. And we are going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about it more in our minds. Next week, I think we're going to get into, okay, what do we do? Like tactically, how do we deal with those things? And so one of the ways is by making a to-do list, right? Like literally listing all of the things that we have to do out. And that is something that we absolutely should do, right? Like that is something that we should do. But one thing that I don't want you to do is to sit there and to beat yourself up about it, is to sit there and actually let that thing bother you, right? That's where we have to make a decision of what we're going to do about this mental load that we're carrying. And a lot of times we don't realize that we're carrying this. Okay. So it's not necessarily always something that's, right there in your face. Like the Dutch oven was right in the middle of my counter, right? And I would see it all the time. That was right there in my face. So it was a mental load that was, it was always a reminder. But even the things that we don't have written down that we know we have to do, they're in our mind. We're carrying those around, whether or not there's a physical reminder of those things or not. And that creates this burden, this added stress that I don't think that we give enough weight to as moms. Because when we actually start to think about it, there's probably a lot of things that are on our mental checklist that never make our to-do lists, if we're being really honest with ourselves. I have a second quote here that I want to share from Gail Blank that says, "When we throw out the physical clutter, we clear our minds. When we throw out the mental clutter, we clear our souls." So the physical clutter allows our minds to be clear, but this mental clutter that we're carrying, it clears out our souls. And that is so important, right? We want our souls, we want our being to be clear so that we can be present with our kids, so that we can experience this joy and fulfillment that we want. When we have all this mental load and this mental clutter, it is blocking us from that. It is something that is literally blocking us from being able to be present, to be joy-filled, to be fulfilled. And there's a lot of mental clutter that we can't just throw out, right? Like there's some mental clutter that I feel like, yeah, we could just throw that out. Like we don't really need that. We don't really need to be carrying around all these negative thoughts, right? We don't need to be carrying around a lot of junk that's probably up there that we're carrying. But there are a lot of things that we're carrying that we can not just throw out, but we can actually address and deal with so that we are able to experience a transformation, so that we are able to do the things that we want to do, to be present with our kids, to not feel this pressure and this added weight that we have on our shoulders before our day even begins. I have another quote that I want to share here, and it's from Peter Walsh that says, "Clutter is not just the stuff on your floor. It's anything that stands between you and the life you want to be living." Anything that stands between you and the life that you want to be living is clutter. Right? It is clutter. It is cluttering up your mind. It is cluttering up your life. We're not just talking about physical things for sure. This is all the things that are living in our heads. It's the self-talk. It's the self-doubt. It's the mom guilt. It's all the things that we talk about on this podcast. And it's these things that we actually have to do, these things that we want to do, these things that are on our to-do list, but aren't living anywhere. And so I put together a group. This is an accountability group. And I started with a challenge, the challenge from Tuesday, which was one thing you could accomplish this week that would make you feel lighter or like you have less pressure, right? And like, I don't want to add anything more to your plate, right? But this app that I downloaded, it's called BFF. It was like Geneva, I think is the site that I used to create it. But I think on the phone, on your app, it's just like a BFF. You can actually go there online as well. So you don't have to download the app. But I have put a link on my website at prioritizewithpurpose.com. I'll also link it in the show notes. And it's an accountability group that we're going to walk through for the next probably month or two, where I'm going to challenge you with something every single week. And next week, it'll probably be along this same vein of the mental load and the mental clutter that we are experiencing as moms. And I want to challenge you to do one thing each week that will help you in some way, shape, or form. And I would love it if we would go there and encourage one another, share what it is that you are going to be focused on this week. You guys, I yesterday decided I was going to try to do one or both of these things and get them both put away. And I did. I got them both put away. And you know what happened in the process? I feel amazing. Like I was able to find a spot for these things. I got rid of some stuff, right? I cleared out some clutter. I recognized how many things I had in this one space. I thought I should have taken before and after pictures. Like I should have taken a before picture because of the transformation that where I decided to put this ice cream maker was on our bar. And you should have seen my bar before I put this ice cream maker. There had been clutter. Like the girls had a pencil sharpener up there, like an electric pencil sharpener. I had batteries for my like neck massager charger. We had this big, huge, like circular thing that kept like a wine carafe and like an ice bucket and just some other things in this. And I was like, why do I need all of this stuff? I don't need all of this stuff anymore. So I rearranged everything and I put away a lot of things. I purged a lot of things. Like I found homes for a lot of things like that I wasn't planning on. And the area, now that whole bar space, it looks amazing. I am super happy with it. And I have a home for my Dutch oven. Like the Dutch oven actually did not take very long to figure out what I was going to do with that. But the ice cream machine was kind of a big deal. And it wound up taking me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to because of how much stuff that I rearranged and got rid of and cleared out on my bar. And what that did for me was not just take that off my to-do list, right? But it actually gave me momentum. It actually makes me want to find the next thing. Like, what's the next thing I'm going to do, right? Because that was so freeing. And actually everybody noticed, like my daughters noticed, my husband noticed. It made such a big difference. The impact was great, right? And this is what happens when we free up that space in our home. Yes. But the beautiful thing is that it's also what happens in our minds. We just can't see it. We can't quite see what is happening in our mind when we do those things. But like this has not only created this momentum, but it's created this space and it's created this like, I can do this type of a mentality. And it definitely took pressure off. It definitely made me feel lighter, right? This has made me feel like, okay, what's the next thing I can tackle? What else has been bogging me down that I can think about that I can go to next, right? So it's going to give you that momentum. And with the accountability piece, in case there are some things that you've really been putting off, like, this wasn't something I had been putting off for a while. It wasn't something that I was necessarily resisting. But if you have chosen something that you're resisting, it might take a little bit more oomph to get going on it, right? It might take a little bit more encouragement to get going. And I would love for us to be that for one another and to walk through this together. So go find the link in the show notes or go to prioritizewithpurpose.com, prioritizewithpurpose.com. I put a banner at the top of the website, so it should be on any page that you land on there. There should be a spot where it says join the accountability group, and it should, if you click on that, it should take you right to the group where you can join. Like I said, I don't think you have to download the app on your phone or anything. That just for me is easier, even though it's one more app. It's actually easier than doing it on my computer. But for those of you who want to do it on your computer, that's amazing as well. I want this to be something where it's ongoing. We're going to have a different challenge every week. And I thought, you know what? I didn't have it created at the last podcast. So now it's created. I'm not going to make anybody feel like they're behind. We won't, we might do another challenge next week, but it'll be in the same vein as this one. So it won't be a brand new topic. It will be in the same light so that we can all kind of catch up. And then anybody who wants to along the way can join in at any point in time. So you'll never be like left behind or whatever, just because you didn't do week 1 or week 2 or whatever it is. Okay. So please go join the accountability group or sign up for a clarity call with me on the website as well. And I will see you right back here next week. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If so, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and then hit share and send this to a mom who needs this in her day. I'll meet you right back here next week. Keep smiling, y'all.